Hi everyone, welcome to a short video of how to make an instructional video with Google Vids. I actually have a couple more videos of how to do this. I have one in PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint one's really good if you have Microsoft PowerPoint. I have another one with Google Slides and a product called ScreenPal. I did that before Google Vids existed. Google Vids is kind of new. I think it's pretty exciting. It's pretty interesting. So I decided to make a third video on how to make an instructional video with Google Vids. So let's get started. Okay, so I have Google open and I've logged into my Lakehead University account. Now I am gonna open up the waffle here and you see I have Google Vids, but I'm not gonna open that yet. First, I'm gonna open up a slideshow because I have a slideshow for what I want to teach, Intro to Photography. Now, you don't actually need a slideshow to do a screen recording. You can actually just use the camera. So you might be recording yourself working on a part. I find that having a slideshow actually helps me remember the content, the learning goals, the top topics that I want to do. So I'm going to model it this way. I have my slideshow up. I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to go back to Google. And now I'm going to Google Vids, which I'm actually going to record my face and my voice with. So I open Google Vids. There's a lot of features. Notice I can upload things. I can use a template. I can actually convert my slides into Google Vids, but I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going to record my screen because it's the easiest option. Okay, so I'm in camera. Now, it starts with camera. If I wanted to just record something and I had the camera in my hands, I can actually model the camera. I didn't bring the camera back from school today. Instead, I'm going to go camera and screen. And I'm going to record my entire screen. Okay, and I see this infinite sort of scroll here. That's actually good because that is recording a screen of me recording my screen of me recording my screen. And I'm not recording this screen. I'm actually going to record this screen, which is my slideshow. So I'm now ready to record some commentary on this slideshow. All I have to do is hit the plus button. And so I'm going to hit record, and I'll talk as if I'm talking to my students, but also talk as if I'm talking to you. So I should probably, two things. I should probably start the slideshow. Okay. And now I'm ready to go. Now I might start with, hi class, today we're going to learn a little bit about photography for our yearbook class. This is something that I actually want to show you face to face. Like I actually want to show all of my students face to face, actually hand them the camera and go over this. But sometimes they grab the camera when I'm not there. Sometimes they go for school events and it's like the school dance, or they're doing it throughout the year, right? And so I might teach this in September, but then they're going to the holiday event and they may need to remember it, or I might not be there. So this is something really core to my course that I do want a video bookmarked on my D2L webpage about. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about intro to photography and why we're here, what we're going to learn. I've got three main things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk a little bit about our cameras. I'm going to give you some of the photography basics. We cover a lot of this in class, but I'm just going to talk about the things that are really core that I really need students to remember. And then we're going to talk about how to share our photos, because after you take the photo, we want to make sure that the right people get them. Okay, so they're not sitting on the camera. So the cameras are Canon Digital Rebels. I might go through some of the features of the camera. I'm going to talk about the different modes, right? So we'll see here there's a roller right there. Those are the different modes of the camera, and next to that is the on-off switch. Right here is the automatic mode, and that's usually the mode that I want students to start in. And so I might go through some of the core different modes, how to turn it on, how to turn it off. Next up, one of the common things that a lot of students will do. So I'm gonna focus on it because it's important. Sometimes students will come back and they'll say, I don't know why all my photos are blurry. And that's because they thought it was an automatic mode, an automatic focus, but it was actually in manual. So you'll see here, there is an autofocus and a manual focus. So if you actually want to turn the camera and focus, that's manual focus. Whereas if you want it to autofocus, that's autofocus. My suggestion is the first time you use the camera, we're going to put it in autofocus. Okay? So that is the switch here. If I wanted, we can hit a play button and actually see me doing it. Again, I might actually stop the recording right now and show the actual camera if I add it. So we can actually, and I'll show you later in the video how we go back and forth. So I'll just continue through my lesson. I'll talk about the rule of thirds because that's important. We don't want all shots where everyone's just centered. We want things along these guidelines here. So the top left is the most important. We usually put our subject there. So I might cover some ideas reminding me, we do this in class, but I like a video of being able to say, why is the tree not centered? Why is it empty on the right? And then comparing it. I have some comparator photos here. So for example, the bees on the right are blurry. This is empty. And it really gives a focus of the bees are going to the left with this. I like comparing this photo because both of them are in the thirds. So we're following the rule of the thirds. But this photo has a little bit more sense because the subject is looking towards the negative space. Whereas this, the subject is looking towards something and we don't know what. So a lot of people will prefer the photo on the right. None of these are hard and fast rules, but they're things that we cover in the course. And lastly, I'm going to recap and say, because for most of my students, when they're grabbing a camera quickly, they're going to attend an event. And we feed for the yearbook with our cameras, and we feed for our social media. So what I want them to do, and I might remind in the video, is if you're attending an event, try and get about 8 shots, try and give a 3-sentence write-up, and I might actually pull up right here, because some of my students need like some guidelines on how to do a write-up, and so I might actually pull up Word and show them, some ways to make a typical Facebook post. And then how to email your submission. So when students take photos, we want those photos to end up on social media, and then off of social media, they end up in our school yearbook. So after they take the photos, they need to email myself, Chino_Russo, and they need to CC the principal and the vice principal, and hopefully the next day they'll wake up and they'll see the photos that they took will end up on the school social media. And so I would go through and do that. Now I'm going to hit stop. Okay. So when I hit stop and I go back to Google Vids, it's done, and I should be able to hit insert. Right. And so if I did my video in one shot, that's good to go. Okay. And so notice I can actually move myself here, and it's funny because I'm doing a screen recording, I'm on top of myself. I would just hide myself. There's ways to do this a little bit different, but this is a very good simple way to do it. You can also add more. So if you want to add another one and hit record, so I can end up saying, you know what, I want to have a section where I'm just recording my camera, right? Because you might have some slides for the learning goal and for the beginning, for the welcome to our video, but then you're actually pulling up the exemplar and you're going to talk live. And maybe I want to do that. Like for a camera, I may actually want to record myself manipulating the camera as opposed to a slideshow. It depends on what you're talking about. I find that for like my yearbook class, I find that I don't want to hold students back. I don't want to say we're not there yet. So I have these videos to allow students who want to go ahead, to allow students who are at a different spot to be able to access them, and they're very valuable to me. So I have my video. I hope I have my video. Yeah, I have my video. And I can preview it, so let's hit play. I might start with, hi class, today we're going to learn a little bit about photography for our yearbook class. Okay. So that's my video. I can edit it a little bit here. For our purposes, you may want to just practice with one shot, okay? Because I'm not asking for you to be a camera people. I'm not asking for these to be perfect. I'm asking you to learn something new. So you may end up just either downloading as an MP4. You can download that file and add it to D2L. So if I do that, we'll see it's going to download, and I will have that file, and I can go to D2L and attach it, and that's my video. I can also share it. So, and that'll actually host it. So you see I have untitled video right here. That's because I haven't named this. Let's do it. Let's do it properly. We'll say photography demo, right? So I'm going to go again, and I'm going to go download an MP4. So now what I would do is I would go to D2L or wherever I need to hand it in, and I would attach that file. Okay? If I actually wanted to share the link so they could see it in Google Vids, that works too. I can hit share. I can hit copy link. The only thing is, actually, before I hit copy link, I should say anyone with the link or anyone in Lakehead University, either one. This will allow anyone to watch it, and so I suggest you click anyone with the link, and you hit copy, and now you'll go to wherever you want to put it. You might put it on your class webpage for your students to see. If you're doing an assignment for me, you might put it in the discussion forum so that I can see it. Okay? Okay, so that's the demo. I hope you found it useful. I tried to keep it simple. There are a lot of features. If you notice, like there were some issues and you could have used transitions, but I don't want you to be masters of this program. I just want you to try to do something new and to really reflect on how would it be valuable in your class and how might it change student learning and student agency. And so a student said to me, a student teacher said to me, and I thought it was really good. It was really useful. He said, I think if I wanted to learn over YouTube, why would I be in a class, right? And I thought that was a valuable comment, but I also think that it's not thinking about your students, because your students might actually have different preferences, right? Especially, first off, they're from a different generation. Second off, they may want to learn face-to-face from you, but you might not be there. They might want to learn face-to-face from you, but the time isn't happening, or for some reason they just didn't pay attention, right? And so I'm not saying every single time I give a student a camera, I go over how to hold the camera. I go over the button on the camera and how to press it, because it's a two-stage button. So this is not something I would ever farm out, but it is something so important that I want them to have a second way. And I deeply feel that sometimes especially my tech classes, that there's just so much going on. I feel that if I can't give the instruction, that I actually have to hold the students back. And so this allows me to increase student agency, to say, you know what, Jimmy, I'm not even in that day, but there's a Halloween dance, and you're going to grab the camera. And I did teach you once at the beginning of the year, but could you please review the video also? And I have a little bit more confidence that he knows how to use the camera, that he knows how to do it. And it's not going to turn into a conversation where he grabbed the camera, he went, they were all blurry, and he doesn't want to do it again, right? Because he did the assignment, and it's not his fault that they were blurry. And so I have a video to go over the basics. And so, and the question is, like, in your trade, in your sector, in your class, how might it change student learning? Just some questions. If you have any questions for me, Grusso at lakeheadu.ca. Hope it helped.